Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. In this week's Torah and Psychology post, Pashas Chukas, we read about the tragic passing away, the death of Aaron HaKohen. Now, obviously, Aaron HaKohen being one of the leading figures together with Moshe Rabbeinu for the Bnei Yisrael. This is a significant moment in the history, and a significant moment in how this then impacts and has an effect on the structural makeup of Am Yisrael. What we see in the Psukim is the juxtaposition of Aaron HaKohen's death and then the king of Arad coming to attack the Bnei Yisrael. And this juxtaposition is something we can look at and try to understand what is the significance. And certainly there are explanations of how the death of Aaron HaKohen then led into the attack, the idea of Arad, the king, that he saw an opportunity to attack the Bnei Yisrael. And one of the explanations that is suggested that we can say is that Aaron HaKohen, as a person, was a leader of Bnei Yisrael. And you could say that the Arad, the king, saw that when a leader of a nation passes away, it dies and is taken out of the picture, there's a certain vulnerability there, which would perhaps present an opportunity to attack for a military success. But we could say Moshe Rabbeinu was still alive. Moshe Rabbeinu was still the Bnei Yisrael's leader as well. Just because Aaron HaKohen was, in a sense, taken out of the picture, why did that give the belief and the confidence for Arad, for the king of Arad, to come and attack the Bnei Yisrael? So we can say, as an explanation, is that Aaron HaKohen represented, as we know, Shalom. He was a Rodef Shalom. He was someone that went out of his way, and his role in Am Yisrael was to bring peace between the Bnei Yisrael. Once that was taken away, once Aaron HaKohen and the significant, indispensable role that he had was then removed from the interpersonal relationships of Am Yisrael, you take away that peace, then the king of Arad, Melech Arad, had this idea that now, without that, the Bnei Yisrael would start to quarrel. They would start to be fighting between the Bnei Yisrael. It would create conflict, and through that, it would create an opportunity as a result of the tension that exists within the ranks, you could say, of Am Yisrael. That presents an opportunity for Melech Arad to come and attack the Bnei Yisrael. So it's taking away this indispensable, unique role that Aaron HaKohen had to bringing shalom between Am Yisrael that then led to this attack, believing that there was an opportunity for military success. And if we look at this from certainly from a family therapeutic, family dynamics perspective, we understand that families function as a system. Am Yisrael, in terms of the Ish Echad Belev Echad, Am Yisrael is believed and understood to be a system that functions like a family that is all united and together. If we look at family systems, each person has a role to play. Each person within the family dynamics contributes in their own unique way, which is then expressed, which gives expression to what we see as a family system. If you take one aspect out of that family, if you remove one person or the dynamics within the family system, it changes, then the whole system is disturbed. The whole system is affected. So Aaron HaKohen, as a person, as a unique, everybody is unique within a system. And certainly we can identify what Aaron HaKohen's unique role and contribution to the family system of Am Yisrael was. And that therefore would lead to a disruption within the whole family system of Am Yisrael, presenting an opportunity, as we said, for Melech Arad to attack the Bnei Yisrael. And this especially if we look in terms of the context of the death of Aaron HaKohen. When in therapy, when we look at family systems, often a genogram as a technique is used, where we look at the roles, and not just the roles in terms of like a family tree, but a genogram also looks at the nature of the relationships, going back previous generations as well, to understand what are the unique dynamics of the relationships within the family system that can give a holistic understanding and conceptualization of the family system, including multiple generations. So within the parasha, within this context of the death of Aaron HaKohen, it also gives sort of meaning to this idea of a genogram, of understanding when someone passes away, and within multiple generations and the development of a system, we can see that every person has a unique role that can then have a knock-on effect within the whole system. And now with Aaron HaKohen's death, it is a moment to reflect, for sure. It's a moment to reflect and understand what was the unique contribution of this person to the family system, and how the whole family system has to respond in turn to be able to accommodate for this change, and to be able to understand that this unique contribution, this unique role of this family member has now been lost, and the system needs to recalibrate in a sense. That's the power of a genogram as well, is giving a visual and qualitative way of understanding a family system, and how this then has an interactional, in a sense, an interactional impact on each member and the system as a whole. So this is a powerful message from this week's parasha in terms of the role of Aaron HaKohen as a person, and how that fits into the wider system of the wider family system of Am Yisrael, and how this can actually then impact on how people interact within the system, and how then this can be interpreted by the wider environment. Have a good Shabbos and keep well.